After a hard work week, I decided to go out of town as usual. I have my own cabin in the woods. I picked up some groceries, threw them in the trunk, and set off. I arrived in the evening, got tired on the road, and immediately went to bed. I fell asleep quickly and soundly. I was awakened by the noise of car alarm. Well, I thought, maybe some animal ran by. I looked out the window, made sure that there were no thieves, and turned off this terrible noise. I lay down again and just started to fall asleep as the alarm system started working again. Without getting up, I pressed the button and everything went quiet. But after 5 minutes, the alarm started screaming again. All right, once, okay, 2 times, but more than that. You start thinking bad thoughts. A little scared, I still got up, disconnected again, but did not lie down, and began to watch through the curtain, who decided to play so in the middle of the night. I was watching, and then I see, behind the light of the lantern in the bushes, began to appear someone's shadow. And the shadow was approaching the car, showing its shape. Something skinny, in a black cloak with a hood, about 2 meters tall, with long, thin arms, came leisurely to the car, tapped on the wheel, and went back into the bushes. At that moment, I realized that it was time to start being afraid. Shaking with fear, I turned off the alarm and continued watching. Something came out of the bushes, walked over to the gate, threw its arm over it, and removed the partition holding the gate doors closed. The thing was heading for the front door. I was gripped with fear. Who is it? What does it want from me? Why won't it leave? I couldn't move. Goosebumps ran from my head to my heels and back, sending a large shiver through my body. My mouth was dry, and my thoughts began to paint scary pictures in a panic. Gritting my teeth and clenching my hands into fists, I came to my senses and ran as fast as I could up the stairs to the first floor, and just as my hand reached for the light switch to find something to protect myself from the guest, I froze. I froze, because it was staring out the window, with its hands against the glass. It was looking to see if anyone was home or not. That's when I realized this whole car thing was to lure the victim outside. Why? I didn't want to know, and I don't want to know. But the fact is the fact. It's here, and it's looking for me. His breath was starting to fog up the window, and I was glad of it because I couldn't take my eyes off his face. Skin the color of ash, covered in wrinkles, deep, small, beady black eyes. Instead of a nose, there were 2 holes. His breathing was so heavy and hoarse that it made my lungs collapse. There were no lips, only 2 rows of sharp yellow teeth. I could not be seen, for I was in the back of the house. But it wasn't just going to leave. After standing at the window, it went to the door, a knock, and then another. In the gap under the door, I saw it trying to stick its fingers under the door. The knob started jerking up and down frantically. And the sounds, it wasn't like a human voice. It was an animal growl. You know, when you start taking a bone away from a dog and it growls in anger. Something like that, only angrier and more detailed. This creature was making. I knew that if it heard me, it wouldn't leave me alone and would find a way into the house. So I just lay down on the stairs and waited for it to end. Tears ran down my face involuntarily. No matter how hard I held them back, my temples started tapping, so much so that it felt like my soul was shaking. I passed out. When I woke up, I looked at the door. The door was still there. I had never been so happy. Standing up from the steps, I looked out the window. It was already daytime outside the window, and the sun was quite high in the sky. Without thinking long, I went upstairs, took the keys, and without packing, I went to the car. As I walked out the door, I saw his footprints on the ground. Proof that I'm not crazy. The broken handle, the scratches on the door, and the boards from the gate, which were lying in the middle of the road, also spoke about it. Jumping into the car, I drove away from that village. On the way, turning on the radio, I heard that the bodies of 2 girls had been found in the neighborhood of this village in the morning. The corpses had been mutilated and dumped in the swamp. It had found what it was looking for after all.